In today's Clash Royale video, I got the new balance change information for you guys in Clash Royale for the June balance changes, and I can tell you guys there will be a ton of changes. First of all, just let you know guys, it's your time to give feedback in the comment section. These are not the final balance changes, this is like the first list Supercell show task. We're gonna share it with the community and you guys are able to give feedback, and at the end, in the next 12 days, I will release the final balance change on this channel. So make sure to subscribe to that, and also make sure to write every single feedback you have for the balance changes in the comment section down below. And also make sure to use creator code mortenroyale. And I would say let's jump into it and let's see which cards are gonna change for the June meta. So guys, I have a list here and you guys can see, as you are seeing in the background, the Ice Wizard will get a bit of a change. The increased spawn attack radius is currently 2.5 tiles. It will be 3 tiles. So this is actually a 20% change, which can be absolutely huge, since like the spawn is already like a change which came in there. I think when they reworked the Ice Wizard back in the days and they changed like from dying to fireball. Now, instead of like dying just from Fireball Z, but now it has like the spawn, which is killing bats and so on. So the range is a bit bigger, which can be really helpful. Supercell is kind of like saying about that the Ice Wizard is a bit overlooked in the current meta with a pretty low win rate. This change is aimed to give the spawn attack a bit more utility. And I personally think, I don't really think this is going to change too much, so I think it's not really too bad. But at the same time, does the Ice Wizard really need a buff? I think it was one of the most solid cards right now in the game. It works really good in Graveyard. There's some golden decks around, there's some control deck in general. So in my mind, honestly, Ice Wizard doesn't really need a nerf, not really a buff. Not a nerf, not really a buff, but I think it's not going to change too much. So I would say this is okay and gets a green light from me. But what do you guys think about that? Next up, we got the Baby Dragon, and Baby Dragon also gets a buff, which I think I'm pretty surprised about. Of course, the Phoenix is all over the place, but still, Baby Dragon, it's so solid. The side range reduction, so 5.5 tiles to 5 tiles, minus 9.1%. This change aims to make the Baby Dragon a little less easy to distract. So it's just like make the Baby Dragon less easy to distract, less easy kiteable, and this is kind of what they mean with the side range. So I think there was also a time when like some troops got like a side range bug and so on. I think like the golem ones, like the side range got a bit changed and buildings didn't pull the golem in a different spot. And also I think the P.E.K.K.A. once was like getting a side range. I don't know if it was a bug or something, but like sometimes it was hard to kite him with an ice golem, but this is kind of thing. So Baby Dragon, I mean, it's also not going to change too much, but sometimes you need to be a bit more careful about the Baby Dragon locking on your tower. Next up, we got the Night Witch here. Death spawn bats current 0, and they will be back in Clash Royale. I think like one of the most exciting changes for golem plays. I personally don't really like the Night Witch, but what Supercell's reasoning here is saying the Night Witch now spawns 2 bats on death, which should add some additional value to her after she's countered. This is to return all the state of the card that might make her useful in the current meta. And I personally think this is it's not really too bad, right? Like the Baby Dragon at the same time gets also small buffs, so might be more Baby Dragon, which is a direct counter. But I'm a bit worried about Golem because all of the free cards are playable in Golem, but at the same time Poison, which also might get a change or will get a change in this half balance change. We could talk later about that. It's of course a direct counter and everybody's using Poison, like Poison Dog is so good in the current meta, so I think it's not going to change too much, but I personally don't really like Night Witch at all. Next up, we got the Skeleton Dragons. So the Skeleton Dragons gets an increased HP on level 1, 208 to 220, which I think is a bit interesting. So they're just gonna change like the level 1 HP. Why are they doing that? Like, I don't really get that, but as you guys can see here on level 11, it's currently 532, so I don't know, they're like not really saying too much about that, but they're also saying increased spacing, 1 tile to 1.5 tiles plus 50%, so the spacing will be a bit like more far away, so it might be tougher to hit them with spells. So Supercell is saying here, standings have been at the bottom of the list in terms of use rate for why it is changed to make them a little more hardy, and additional spacing should make countering just a little more difficult. Okay, I think I kind of get that, right? So they won't be as close as they are currently together. I think they're similar to the Rascal change from last balance change, so I know. To be fair, scale rings are pretty bad right now. Next up, we got the Battle Leader, and I think Battle Leader is one of the most controversial cards in this type of game. I mean, there are some people saying like Battle Leader, of course, it's bad, it need a buff, but also people are scared about like really toxic combinations. But currently, you don't really see the Battle Leader at all. It's not really an option like as a mini tank, even like technically she is a mini tank compared to the Knight, Dark Prince, Mighty Miner, Golden Knight, Valkyrie, Dark Prince, and so on. So what Supercell is saying here, the spawn heal amount will be changed, and also the spawn heal radius. So the spawn heal radius 2.5 tiles, and this is like actually really interesting, and I honestly don't really know what this basically means, but it kind of changed a bit. What Supercell is saying here, the Battle Leader now does a heal on a spawn Okay, so if you like drop the bat healer somewhere, it would heal, which is absolutely incredible. Like this can be really busted. Equivalent to around 2 times their normal heal attack and 50% of the heal of heal spirit with a radius of 2.5 tiles. With this change, players can find more use for the cards other than just supporting with a big push. And I would say let's just directly jump into a game and see how this really works out. Okay guys, so I would say we're just gonna go in for the goblins here. And let's see, okay, that's kind of what you're seeing here. So I'm just gonna go for the battle healer here. And as you guys can see, if I play the battle healer, the troops get healed up a bit, which is absolutely insane. And I don't really know how much this is gonna change, but it gives you a kind of like the spawn radius thing, similar to stuff like the ice wizard, the e-wizard and so on. Also something which people thought bringing like the wizard in next, but they decided to bring on the battle healer, so might be a bit busted, might be a bit broken, but at the same time, really interesting change. Kind of puts us like, or like kind of makes the healer a bit similar to the heal spell back in the days. Next up, we got the poison spell. Reduce crown tower damage. So currently, poison is all over the place. One of the best cards by far in the current Clash Royale meta, and they changed it a lot. So the current value will be changeable like minus 17% overall. The nerf has dual aim of reducing the effectiveness of poison to get guaranteed tower damage and slowly add consistently to big spells in the game in terms of crown tower damage. I think this is the right choice, especially like the minor recently got nerfed, now the poison also. And I think this is really good. I will never complain about spells doing less damage to tower, because I personally always think, of course, like minor poison is a really good push, like a really good combination itself, but I personally always really like to see the poison as a troop to kill opponents' troops, and not like rather than having it as a win condition, because right now with the free card cycle also spells get like way more overpowered since you're able to cycle them. And with the recent change of the minor, like the older change with the rocket, now also nerfing the damage, the crown tower damage, just the crown tower damage of the poison is absolutely great. Next up, we got the goblins. Deployment delay 0.2 seconds instead of 0.1 seconds. So just like the delay of the deployment, I mean, it's pretty simple to explain. It's just a bit like a small change. I mean, what is a small change, right? 0.1 to 0.2 is like 50%, so it's actually not too small if you could think that. But what it's saying is the staggering deployment of goblins makes it a little less effective at surrounding units, which has become a huge part of the meta in recent weeks. And I think every goblin nerf, I don't know if it's gonna change too much. But every goblin nerf is welcome, to be honest. Next up, we got the Goblin Hut, and the Goblin Hut change is absolutely awesome. They're gonna change the death goblins from 3, which is currently when the Goblin Hut dies, 3 goblins are gonna spawn out, 3 spear goblins. There will be 1 after the new changes in Clash Royale. So minus 66%, or like 66.666% of goblins lost. I mean, not really an important change in percent, but yeah. So what I'm saying is the Goblin Hut has become a lot more viable in the meta with the last set of changes to the spear goblins. The aims to reduce the effectiveness of the building without completely removing the effects of that change. And I personally would say this is a really great change, because I feel like the death goblins are most of the time like the most annoying thing about like the Goblin Hut, when you're like spelling them down and you still need to commit something on top of the spear goblins, which are like also overpowered right now since the range got buffed recently. I just think this is really great and a really good change by Superstar. So guys, now we're going to the 2 final cards. The first one will be the Ice Bird. The freeze duration will be a bit nerfed, or like will get a small nerf, which I think is really, really great. So instead of freezing for 1.3 seconds, I will just, or like the Ice Bird will just freeze for 1.2 seconds. It will be minus 7.7%. The Ice Bird utility as a quick side card, useful freeze ability as made extremely popular in many decks. This change aims to make that freeze ability a little less effective, and I guess that's what I'm saying, or like every pro is saying, especially in combination of Ice Bird plus Goblins, they completely kill everything. Just a really good change, and I think also like an easy change, right? We don't really need to make something like with the first hit speed or something complicated. Just like making the freeze a bit slow, not really that effective anymore, not that long anymore. And I think it's changed like with 0.1 seconds. It's an absolute great change. So shout out to Superstar. I think this is a really good balance change. Next up, we got the Mighty Miner HP reduction level 11. Okay, so they're kind of showing it for level 11 here, which is like minus 6.5%, which I think is really, really cool. So Mighty Miner has become very prevalent in the high level meta with a high win and use rate. This change aims to reduce the probability compared to other champions. So just like nerfing the HP a bit is overall, I think, a really solid change. So I know, let me know what you guys think about that, but I think like changing it like minus 6.5%, I just feel like the Mighty Miner survived so many things. I don't know if like they're still, the Mighty Miner is still surviving so many packets, because currently I just feel like the Mighty Miner is like with 1 HP it's surviving after the packet shot sometimes. So let me know what you guys think about that. But these are all the balance changes. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 balance change, which I think is really great. If like Supercell missed something you guys want to like see in a balance change for June, let me know in the comment section. Give like a rating. How do you guys enjoy this balance change? I would say it's like an 8 out of 10. Really solid ones. I would say like I would love to see like more dead cards also changing up a bit to have like more fresh meta. But overall, I would say this is a really fine change. So if you guys don't want to miss any videos just like that in the future, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that. And I would say I'm out. See you guys tomorrow in the next Clash Royale video.